Very sad news yesterday. We lost a legend. Pop star Prince was found dead in his home in Minneapolis at the age of 57. In Billboard magazine's proclaimed Prince's 2007 halftime show at Dolphin Stadium as the greatest performance in the history of the event. He was a Vikings fan, Timberwolves, and Lynx fan, and held a private concert when the Lynx won the WNBA championship. Stephen A., how will you remember Prince?
I'm sorry, Molly, I couldn't hear the question.
That's okay. I said, how will you remember Prince?
One of the greatest musicians I've ever seen. I will always love his music. When I think about iconic figures in the music business, I'm an R&B guy for the most part, as opposed to pop and hip hop. Believe it or not, I love my slow jams. I love the Teddy Pendergrasses of the world, the Luther Vandross, Al Green, and the list goes on and on. But when it comes to two pop icons, two musicians that transcend gender, transcends geography, transcends so many different things, I think about two people. I thought about Michael Jackson, and I think about Prince, and I think about Raspberry Beret in 1999, Let's Go Crazy. I think about, just Adore and, Die For You. I mean, just so many of his songs, all of his music, I'm incredibly familiar with, obviously, and I had the pleasure of seeing him perform live on two occasions. On one occasion, it was in 2006 at the Super Bowl, where I went there as a fan. I actually had tickets to the game. I wasn't working that game. It was in Miami. Obviously, the Indianapolis Colts were going up against the Chicago Bears, and Tony Dungy became the first African-American to win a Super Bowl championship. And it was pouring down raining, and Prince came out there singing Purple Rain. There was something special. And then there was another time that, he had I don't know if he rented it or owned it, but it was a house above Beverly Hills. I believe it's in Beverly Park, if I remember correctly. And he had a private party there, and my man Kevin Frazier got, for Entertainment Tonight, the Insider actually, got me, called me and said, meet me here. And I had no idea why, Skip, Molly. I had no idea why. And I take a car, I roll up there, and I said, what you want me to meet you here for? Who's having a party here? He said, Prince, you're invited. Come on in. And he walked up in there, and the who's who of Hollywood and beyond, and Dr. Phil, Sylvester Stallone, and so many others showed up to the party, and Prince came out there and performed in his backyard. It was unbelievable. He was a sensational performer, and of course, just to bring a little levity to the situation, you can't mention Prince in this day and age without thinking about Charlie Murphy and his True Hollywood Stories from the Dave Chappelle Show, and that skit he did about Prince playing and beating them in basketball. And Prince later revealed it was an actual true story. It wasn't just some comedy skit that Charlie Murphy did. It actually really happened. He really could ball and really did beat Eddie Murphy and the crew in some basketball, or at least Charlie Murphy and them. So it was absolutely hilarious, one of the most hysterical skits that you'll ever see. But you can't help but think fond memories for Prince, because he was truly one of the most sensational music artists that we have and we will ever see. And I'm going to miss him greatly, but I will always have his wonderful music. I will always have that.
I'm with you. When Doves Cry is in my top 5 all-time songs, and Purple Rain is in my top 5 all-time albums, and it came out just before the 1984 Olympics that I covered in L.A., and I wore it out through those 2 weeks in L.A. I was addicted to it. Doves Cry, I Will Die, I Would Die For You, and
everything.
Let's Go Crazy and Purple Rain. It's just like every song wasn't just good. It was either really good or great. It's just classic. And I saw Prince in '86 in concert. And I got to tell you, I've been to a lot of concerts in my life, especially through the '80s and early '90s. Stephen A., single greatest concert I ever went to was Prince. Just on power and impact and showmanship and the ability to sing those songs live as they are recorded. And it just knocked me out of my seat. And again, this may be blasphemous to say, but I saw Michael Jackson twice, and I'll give Prince just the slightest edge. He wasn't as physical, he couldn't dance the way Michael could quite, but listen, as a performer, as an artist, he's the definition of artist, singer, songwriter, genius. And it got me yesterday, because obviously you never anticipate these things coming, but when I first saw the headline, it's like, what? What? Really? And it was really. And I still listen to Purple Rain, and I'm going to be listening to it all weekend.
No question about it.
Yep.
I mean, listen, the slow jams, the dog called me, just everything. I mean, it doesn't matter. You know, he was just phenomenal on so many levels, but he was also a deep thinker. I feel for my man Tavis Smiley right now, because he's interviewed Prince on several occasions.
Yep.
They were pretty close, and obviously Tavis Smiley has done tremendous things in terms of his work. I consider him a journalist with the work that he does, particularly the detailed attention that he pays to the African American community, and having Prince talking about a bevy of issues, not to mention celebrating his illustrious career. I mean, a lot of folks are hurting today because we lost a true icon, just a wonderful, wonderful figure, and a masterful magician. He was a musician. He was just something sensational to behold. He really, really was. We're going to miss him. But again, we will always have his music.
Yep.
He's not going anywhere. His music is not going anywhere.
His music will live on forever, and he gave us so much. We appreciate that. When we come back, we are going to switch gears to the UFC. Conor McGregor isn't retiring after all. His explanation on that after the break.